So, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about surface area of cylinders and prisms. Now, what do you think surface area means? The area on the surface. I know y'all need reminders on what to do in class, right? With the headphones and the phones. All right, so surface area is the area of all the surfaces, okay? So lateral, let's start with the vocab word. What does lateral mean? Not up and down. Okay. So, y'all know where your lats are, your muscles? You do this. All right. Or lateral walking? Or what else? Lateral posing. Okay. Whatever that is. So lateral means the sides. So let's go and write that down. The side faces. We can put it that way. Faces on the side. What does total mean? Everything. So the lateral sides plus, what do you call the ones on top and bottom? The bases. So basically total is all, meaning lateral plus bases. Every face. And even non-faces, including curved spaces. Okay, so all the lateral area and the bases. Now, big P stands for what? You would think it's perimeter. Now, by the way, these next questions are found on your formula chart, right here down the middle, okay? But these have special applications when we do surface area. So big P is perimeter, yes, but perimeter of what? Of only the base. Not both bases, not the sides, just one base, okay? So the perimeter of the base. Try it again. All right, perimeter of the base. Now these next two vocab words can be confusing. So I want y'all to listen carefully here. Big B, you would think that means what? You would typically see B and you would typically just think base, right? Okay, so if you looked at your formula chart, you know this already, but we're talking about capital B, which is different than lowercase b. So capital B is not just base, it's area of the base. Let's write that down first. Area of the base. Area of the base. All right, so check it out. Here's a visual, okay? Let's say I have this thing. What is this thing? Triangular pyramid, right? Now, if I asked you to find big B, you would be taking, so let's say you're looking at it straight on like this, okay? You would take this bottom shape, ta-da, and what would you do with that bottom shape? You would find the area of this triangle, right? So big B is the area of that base. Now, this next word, super important, it's a little different, okay? How would I find the area of this triangle? Okay, on your formula chart, the very first thing, it says, if it ever clears up, to find the area of a triangle, you do base times height divided by 2. Now notice that base is a lowercase b. Okay, so now I'm still looking at the base, so I'm trying to find big B. So what is the little b of this big B? The base length. Okay, so the length on the bottom right here that I'm pointing to, this is little b, And you're going to use little b times height divided by 2 to give you big B, the area of this triangle. Okay? So let me say it in a way that might confuse you. I'm not trying to confuse you. Okay? But look, if I asked you to find big B, hold on. If you're looking for big B, I'm asking you to find the area, two-dimensional area of this triangle. But if I ask you for little b, that is the length on the bottom of that base. So here's the way that I'm going to say it. The little b is the base length of the base shape. Does that make sense? It's the base length of this base shape. Okay? So again, big B, where's that? There it is. It's a triangle. Little b is the distance from here to here. Okay? So big B is a shape, area. Little b is a length, distance. If it still doesn't make sense, it will once we do some examples. Okay? But I did want to explain that. So let's write this down. Little b, it's the length of the base's base. The base shape has a base length. Okay? I'll show you what I mean as we go through this. So let's start off with some formulas here. There are two types of surface area. There's lateral surface area and total surface area. Okay? Lateral, like we said, is on the sides only. Total is everything. Now, we're going to have to look at our formula chart to get these formulas, and you want to get really familiar with looking at this sheet of paper. So, what is the lateral surface area formula of a prism? So here's prism, bottom half. Here's LSA, lateral surface area. It equals PH. Okay? So yeah, it'd be perimeter times the height. So let's write that down right here. I'm going to write LSA equals big P, little h. It also says above that to shade the lateral surface, so you're only going to shade the sides. Okay? No big deal. Now, what is the total surface area? So, on here, you look on your formula chart, prism total TSA equals PH plus 2 big B. Let's write that down. And above that, it says we should shade the total surface area. So again, we got this lateral surface area. And then you're adding the 2B, the bases. You can't really see it, but that's underneath it. All right, so all of it's total, sides is lateral. Let's do some examples, okay? Now I'm telling you, capital P and capital B require an extra step to figure it out. Your capital B is never labeled on there. Your capital P is never labeled on there, okay? So first thing we're going to do is figure out capital P and H. So P equals what? H equals what? Now when we think of P, P stands for what again? Perimeter of what? The base. And the base, we're only going to do one base. Let's go with the bottom. I got 5, 5, and that is a square, so 5, 5, 5, 5. How do I find the perimeter? Add them all up. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, right? Or 5 times 4, which is 20. Do you see how you had to do an extra step to figure out P? You're not just going to plug in 5 for P. P is not 5, right? Write it down. And then H, well, what's H? It's labeled. What? 15. All right. So we got P, we got H. Now all we got to do is, for LSA, PH. Okay? So lateral surface area is perimeter times height. So that means it's going to be 20 times 15. And what is 20 times 15? 300 units squared. We don't have units here, but it would be the units squared. Okay, LSA. That wasn't that bad, right? Okay, let's go over here to total surface area. My total surface area has a big B that I need to find first. Now remind me, what does big B stand for? Not just base, but area of the base. So, let's do that over here. What shape is on the bottom? Square or rectangle. Well, how do I find the area of that? Okay, length times width, base times height, however you want to think about it, right? So it's going to be 5 times 5, which is 25. So do you see how big B was not 5 either, okay? Capital B, most people miss this, but capital B is never labeled on there. You have to do some math, just do a step to find it, okay? So big B is 25. I'm going to move this down. Okay. So now I can do total surface area. TSA equals PH plus 2 big B. Now, I want to show you something. We just did lateral, right? We know pH is 300. So over here, when you see pH, you know pH is 300, okay? All you're going to do to that 300 is add 2 times B, which is 25. So 2 times 25 is 50, and 300 plus 50 is 350 units squared, whatever those units are. So, next one. This next one is the one most people miss, okay? Not because it's super hard, but just these little things that sometimes we forget. So, very similar, except we have a triangular base, right? A triangular prism. Same idea. Let's start with P and H. Let's find the perimeter of the base, right? What's the perimeter of this base? Or how do I figure it out? Can I find the perimeter? Johnny Depp is an interesting character, or actor who plays in movies, that's for sure. All right, so capital P, we need to find the perimeter of all sides. We have a missing side, right? Student? So student, how do I find this missing side? Wrong. So what kind of shape is this? We have a right triangle, right? Atom? So we learned this thing. If you have 2 sides of a right triangle, you're looking for the third one, there's a theorem we use called Pythagorean theorem, right? 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 Pythagorean theorem? Do you know what that is? What is it? What? Everyone needs to know Pythagorean theorem, right? Everyone. Sometimes, these theorems aren't on our phones when we're playing darts, right? So, let's write these down. 3 and 4 are my legs. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. Now, by the way, do y'all remember when we did Pythagorean triples? There was a little bit of memorization that required, so you don't have to do all this stuff. But 3 and 4 makes sure that the hypotenuse is always going to be what? No. So one of the triples we should know is 3, 4, 5. Y'all remember that? 3, 4, 5 and all of its multiples? If you don't remember, then you got to do Pythagorean theorem. So 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. What's 9 plus 16? 25, and then I'm going to square root. 5 equals c. Now that's just this little length. Now we can find the perimeter. Do you agree? What do I add? Again, perimeter of the base, what am I going to add? What numbers? Okay, 3 plus 4 plus 5 gives me what? 12. So, once we have P we have to identify what's H. 12. Now, let's do the formula. LSA equals pH. We just figured out P is 12. H is coincidentally also 12. What's 12 times 12? 144 units squared. Okay. Over here, for total surface area, we're going to do, we need to figure out first big B, which stands for what again? Area of the base. And the base shape is a triangle. Now, everyone needs to be looking at this because too many people goof this up. I don't want anyone to goof. Pick up. Pick up. Okay, please. Can you please? So, big B, area of the triangle. How do I find the area of a triangle? Very first thing on your formula chart. Base times height divided by 2, yeah? So, now notice that's little b times h over 2. Now, what do you think little b is? What's the base of the base shape? Okay, so on this right triangle, the base would be 3, and then the height would be 4, because it's a right triangle, base and height. So 3 times 4, too many people just do 3 times 4, but don't forget, for a triangle, you have to divide by 2. All right, what's 3 times 4 divided by 2? 6. Okay. So now that we have big B, we can do our formula for TSA, total surface area. pH plus 2 big B. Don't we already know pH? So we're going to write 144 plus 2 times 6. What's 2 times 6? 12, and 144 plus 12 is 156 units squared, whatever those units are. So we make sure we label our units when we have them. All right, number 3. I appreciate your thinking, next level, but when we have one base, that wouldn't work, like a pyramid. So I don't want to make a rule. All right, example 3, I'm going to do this really quick because hopefully by now you get it, and it's like example 1, just a little different. So, P, perimeter. If I have 5, 10, 5, and 10, add them up, what do I get? 30. What's the height? 20. LSA equals pH. So that's going to be 30 times 20, which is 600. Okay, I know I'm doing this a little fast, but it's because we just did it. All right. We need to find big B. Big B stands for area of the base. What's the area of the base? Okay, we take the base and the height of the base, 5 times 10, and we get 50. Let me try to fix this. All right. So, TSA is pH plus 2 big B, and we know pH is 600 plus 2 times, and big B is 50. What's 2 times 50? 100. So 600 plus 100 is 700 units squared for the total surface area. So make sure you get that down and flip it over. We're going to do cylinders real quick. All right, it's over here if you need it. Now, yes. All right, so this next one is for cylinders, LSA. Now you tell me the lateral surface area of a cylinder. So one below the cylinder, one below a prism, we got 2 pi RH, and then when we get to it, for total surface area, 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. Okay? Let's write these down. And then we'll do total as well. Okay, so let's shade these. The lateral surface area is on the side, yeah. And the total surface area is the sides plus the base. Okay. Now, y'all know what that pi symbol means? What does that pi symbol mean? It stands for a ratio that we round to 3.14. Y'all know pi is spelled pi, and the symbol pi comes from where? Anyone know where the symbol pi comes from? Yes, so it's Greek. It's a Greek letter. Okay, it's like the letter P, kind of, not really, but and you actually pronounce it P, but we're not going to talk about P in this class. So pi, and it's about 3.14. Now we are not going to write 3.14. We're not going to type 3.14 because we have a button on our calculator, right? So the very bottom left of your calculator, the second from the bottom, you have a pi button, okay? We'll get there. So let's start on example 1. Now, in my opinion, cylinders are easier because they give you what you need in the picture. You don't have to figure out big B or big P, okay? So, what is the radius? And let's back up. What does radius mean? Halfway across, right? From the center to the edge of any circle is R. What do you call it when it's all the way across? Letter D for diameter. Okay, so radius is half, and diameter is all the way. So, what's the radius here on example 1? 4. And then what's the height? 10. Now, wasn't that easy? Didn't have to really do anything extra. So, all we got to do is plug it into the formula. LSA equals 2 pi RH, which is 2 pi times 4 times 10. Okay. So, let me show you on the calculator. So when you hit 2, that's cool. Pi is down here, second from the bottom, right? So 2 pi, make sure you press enter. Everyone's doing this? 2 times pi times 4 times 10. And we get 251.33. We're going to round, okay? So 251.33 units squared is my lateral surface area. For total surface area, I don't have to worry about big B because in the formula I gave it to you, everything already spelled out. So 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. What is 2 pi RH? We just figured it out. 251.33, right? Again, you always get that first part in the lateral, and you're just adding on to it. 2 pi r is 4 squared. Now, on the calculator, you already have 251.33. So here's my suggestion. Just start pressing plus 2 pi 4 squared. So right here, first thing I'm going to press, plus 2 pi 4 squared is right next to it. I get 351.86 units squared because it's area. See how that works? Do what? Now, bring it down. This is a little different because it's sideways, but we're still looking for R and H. Now, who thinks R is 8? What? Okay, does everyone see how 8 has all the way across? So I need halfway for radius, and that is half of 8, right? So 4. What about the height? Okay, so does everyone realize that the height is between the bases? Okay? So I know this thing is sideways. Some people are going to think 8 is the height. No. Between the two circles, that's the height. Okay? Just like your height is the same height when you're laying down, you know? It's no. So, let's do this. LSA equals 2 pi RH. So 2 pi times 4 times 20. Let's type that in. 2 times pi times 4 times 20. $502.66 when we round. That'll be units squared, right? Let's do this. No, right. Over here, TSA, total surface area, 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. We already know 2 pi RH is 502.66. And we just add 2 pi 4 squared, because r is 4. So again, all you got to do is start pressing plus 2 pi 4 squared. Plus 2 pi 4 squared. And we get 603.19 units squared. Alright, does that make sense? So you have your formula chart with all your formulas. You know what big B and big P stand for, little b. You can plug stuff in. So that's what you're going to do on the assignment, which I will pass out now.